we did have a good bullpen. We had a fun group. We were talking about that earlier. We were upstairs just kind of talking about all the different moments. One of them was, how early in that playoffs, game 1 of the division series, you bring in Andrew like early on. We knew obviously Tito went and traded for this guy. The front office went and got this guy for big outs. We didn't realize they were going to be as early as they were. So like, what do you remember about game 1? Obviously we're facing like David Ortiz, and like that lineup I think doesn't get enough credit for how good it was. That Boston team was really, really good. So you come in game 1, you throw 2 innings. Were you ready? Like, did they say, hey, be ready in the 5th, we're going to use you a little bit differently, or did it kind of just go from there?
No, Tito talked to me beforehand. It's a huge credit to that staff, the preparation we did for each one of those series. But Tito told me, he goes, hey, you're going to face Ortiz once, you're probably going to face him one more time, and then I'll get you out of there. So I knew I could watch the scoreboard and see when David was coming up, which was pretty scary. But, yeah, I had a pretty good idea. And the communication, our staff was phenomenal at preparing us for those series, and I think it really paid off. It's a little bit undersold how important that was in our success.
Yeah, I remember we were all out in the bullpen watching you just carve them up. And I remember Andrew Benintendi is a young player. He was actually really good. He was hitting at the bottom of the lineup, and you fanned him. You blew his doors off. And this was like 40 pitches in. You've thrown 2 1/3, and nobody came out of the dugout immediately. And you were like kind of standing out there. You're like, are you guys leaving me out? Am I going to face him a 3rd time? So I do remember that. I'm like, man, I guess this is how it's going to go. And then when we went to Toronto, they had a really right-handed heavy lineup, right? They had all their big boppers and Donaldson and Bautista and Russell Martin and all those guys. And so you pitched a lot. I think you pitched in every game. You're the only reliever we had, I think, that might have pitched in every single game. So how did your routine change and just kind of your ability to be ready? Because it was kind of at any point's notice. I mean, we had a bullpen game in game 3 where the bullpen covered 8 2/3. Walk me through that one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've always prided myself on being available, being ready, and stuff like that. And that's a testament to the training staff, the weight room staff. Tito taking care of us the way he did and putting us in games when he knew that we should be in there and stuff like that. But I love to pitch, always wanted to pitch, and like you said, I think I threw 11 of the 15 in that postseason. Obviously, Miller threw 30 innings for us. I threw more games, but, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed pitching. I always wanted to pitch, regardless of, they would try to tell guys, obviously, we're down and stuff like that. Andrew would say, hey, I might be hanging a little bit, or, whatever the case was. We'd have other guys pick each other up, and same thing with me and with you guys. So it was just a lot of fun, and to be able to do that and to be able to, pitch that much for this team, unfortunately, I was in there at the end, but, it is what it is, and still fun memories and a lot of fun to be able to do all that.
What was of the entire postseason, what was like the one out, or like the one big out that is like the most vivid memory for you?
Biggest out I remember is you pitching to close out the Toronto series, and just watching Bebo behind the plate thinking he was going to have a heart attack because we were about to go to the World Series. And that was about the most fun I had, and I was so glad I wasn't out there. But just watching the two of you on the mound in that moment and realizing that we were going to the World Series was pretty cool.
All right, what was yours?
For me personally, pitching, it was in Game 7. The first inning I came in with a guy on first base with 1 out. I think I got to a 1-1 count, and the guy tried to steal second base. There was an errant throw that went into center field.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he got to third with 1 out, and then I think that was a strike. And then he tried to bunt with 2 strikes, and he bunted it foul. They tried to squeeze, and he bunted it foul for the strikeout. And I'm sitting there like, thank you. Like, I appreciate you getting that for me. And then I think the next guy grounded out. Kip made a diving play in the hole, and ended up throwing out to end that inning. And it was like, I'm sitting there like, thank you for bunting. Like, you swing away and like you're trying to hit home. Like, I know who you are, and you tried to bunt with 2 strikes. I'm like, thank you.
Dude, that's awesome. It's just like there's so many little moments that you forget about, but as we're talking about them, they all start to come back up. But there's a few here from these 2 guys. Great bullpen, great memories.